Venus enters the curious and playful Gemini on Tuesday, April 11th, and immediately trines Pluto in Aquarius, intensifying our desires and affection. Venus will stay in Gemini until May 7th, and from April 21st, she will be ruled by Mercury Retrograde in the sign of Taurus. Seems complicated? Well, it kind of is, but don't fear. Let's break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia, and I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button, leave me a like or a comment. It helps me bring you more videos, and it encourages YouTube to show my content to more people. If you'd like to work with me, you can book a reading at the link down below. And before we dive in, I wanted to tell you that I am hosting an astrological retreat in the magical, beautiful and stunning Costa Rica in late September. Me and a group of like-minded astrology lovers, exciting people, will travel to Costa Rica, we'll explore, we'll adventure, we'll meditate in the forest, we'll taste some rainforest organic chocolate, we'll see some wildlife like sloths. I am super looking forward to it, and you can take advantage of the early bird rate, get your spot for $100 less, and you only need 25% to reserve your spot. The rest can be paid over time. There's a link down there. Check it out, learn more, and consider traveling with us. I'd love to become friends and explore. Like, Costa Rica looks so magical. I've never been, and going there with a group of people who share my interests of traveling and talking about astrology, I think, is the best thing. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and let's talk about Venus entering Gemini. I have made a video about Venus in Gemini last year. You can definitely watch it for more insights and for better understanding of what this might bring to you. I will still take it through all 12 signs, but there might be more information in that video. I will also link it in the comments and at the end of this video. So Venus is the planet of beauty and desire. It represents things we find attractive, and when it's placed in the sign other than its own, Taurus or Libra, it has to act in accord to the nature of that sign, right? And the sign is ruled by a planet. So basically in Gemini, Venus is in Mercury's home. Mercury in Gemini is someone who knows a lot, someone who reads a lot and listens to a lot of things. Imagine it like in a home where there is TV working, people talking, dog barks, the child runs around, and it's like a little bit chaotic, right? But Venus slowly but surely adapts to it and starts to become more Gemini-like when it's placed in Gemini. And if you're born with this placement, let me know how it works for you. But in general, we can expect to feel more lighthearted when it comes to dating, right? Like kind of fluid, we are changeable, we are more chatty, we value people who can stimulate our mind. We get bored rather quickly with Venus and Gemini, so we need a partner who will chat us up and can like keep up with our fast intellect and stimulate our intellect with new stories, right? Like Venus and Gemini is very attracted to the mind. It's less so about your gender or your look or anything like that. It's very much like, what do you have to bring to the table, right? What do you have to offer? What do you have to show for your knowledge? We can become more experimental, more open-minded when it comes to our sex lives and our creativity. Venus in Gemini is very much like, I think Gemini is like TikTok, right? So when Venus is in Gemini, you are better at doing that kind of stuff. You're better at thinking on your feet. Of course, Gemini struggles with narrowing things down. And as a Gemini moon, I can assure you that's definitely one of my personal struggles. So make sure you're not overextending yourself, and make sure that you're not just like brainstorming for the sake of brainstorming. Like, choose a couple of things that get you going and maybe keep stimulating your mind, and go for it, right? Yeah, like don't pursue 15 projects at once. Pursue 2. Do realistic things. Watch out for being too kind of flighty. Don't promise things you cannot deliver. Do not go behind your partner's back and do something you will later regret. But I think, like I said, like lovely for mercurial pursuits, lovely energy for writing, for speaking in front of public, for filming videos, but maybe a bit more complicated because we can be spread in too many directions. And romantically, I think we will all feel a sense of like level-headedness, coolness, and detachment, where, of course, you know, it depends on your natal Venus, and like Venus in Gemini by transit doesn't change your overall approach to love, but I think there might be a bit of like, you know, you see that the world is full of different flavors, and if you're dating someone who doesn't fit your idea of a relationship or is toxic and you need to cut it out, you're not going to feel as upset as you might otherwise. So some important dates to note within this April 11th to May 7th period is on April 11th, Venus will trine Pluto, and that is intensity, depth, kind of positive depth, passion when it comes to your self-expression, when it comes to your romantic relationships, more chances to express yourself, maybe express your shadows in a creative way or romantic way. April 14th can be tricky because Venus will square Saturn. So give it a couple of days before, right? Starting April 12th until April 16th, Venus squaring Saturn. Your perhaps desires and interests will get pinned against Saturnian responsibility. So Venus in Gemini may be like, but I want to do this, but I want to travel, but I want to study, I want to do all these different things. And Saturn in Pisces will come in and be like, well, what is good for others? What is important for transcending your pain and setting yourself free? What will benefit the collective the most? So there might be a sense of tension, delays, frustrations, authority figures blocking your path, or being kind of controlling. So don't get discouraged. Remember that this transit doesn't last forever and it will pass. So what's interesting is that on April 21st, Mercury, the ruler of Venus, will go retrograde. And Mercury being retrograde, ruling Venus, makes Venusian topics a little bit more complicated, right? Like makes us question things a little bit more. Maybe we are thinking about them more than we're doing them. Romantically, perhaps we are rethinking some things. It's not the same as Venus retrograde, but there's definitely an element of like things maybe taking longer to develop and us being more thoughtful. So not necessarily like Venus in Gemini ruled by Mercury in Gemini, but Venus in Gemini ruled by Mercury in Taurus. So even though it's fluid and intellectual, Mercury in Taurus still wants things that you can touch and things that are long lasting and recognition and mastery and all of those kind of things. So the two will work together. May 4th and 5th are quite exciting because Venus will sextile Jupiter. Of course, like actually May 4th, Venus will square Neptune. So be careful around like early May of deception, confusion. Ask for help if you're signing contracts. Don't kind of sign off your property to somebody. Don't get too excited about things that seem shady. But things do work out, right? Because the next aspect right before Venus leaves Gemini on May 7th is to Jupiter. So if you felt disillusioned, disappointed, uncertain, you come out of it alive with Venus sextiling Jupiter. So let's break it down for all 12 signs. And like I said, definitely check out a different Venus and Gemini video, the one I did last year, for more. But I will kind of take a look at it through the lens of Mercury being retrograde. So if you are an Aries rising, Venus enters your 3rd house, but it will be ruled by Mercury going retrograde in the 2nd house. So Mercury retrograding in the 2nd house feels like you are rethinking your values. And you may be examining your financial matters, right? With Mercury retrograde in the second house. Maybe you're questioning whether you have enough money to reach your dreams, whether you may be questioning if your job is aligned with your goals. And with Venus in the third house, I think she wants to open space for what you truly want to do. So Venus in the third house could be a good time to brainstorm some solutions, to pick up some new skills, right? Like Venus in the third house is your everyday life, right? So Venus in the third will be like, does your everyday life reflect your values? And if it doesn't, how can you streamline? How can you change things? Maybe it means selling something, right? I think like a good example would be like getting rid of some things or buying some technology that will make your life better, exploring new interests, exploring new passions, and perhaps interacting with people, third house being communication, interacting with people who can offer you financial advice, or interacting with people who are aligned with your values, I think is more likely. Yeah. If you are a Taurus rising, Venus will be traveling through your second house, and for part of the time, starting on April 21st, she will be ruled by Mercury retrograde in the first house. So Mercury retrograding in the first house means that you are rethinking your look, your health, your body, your image, and your goals. So there's like Mercury retrograde in the first house can be like a small time of personal crises. Not a big one. Just a sec. I remember when I had Mercury retrograding in my first house, I was like super concerned with my skincare routine. Suddenly it was like, but what am I using? Am I happy with my creams? Am I not? So you are focusing on yourself, right? Like, and as Venus enters your second house, she kind of blesses your finances for a period of time, and she will encourage you to spend money. And she can bring you some money, right? Like blessing finances means that you can be getting bonuses, you can be getting gifts, but you are also as likely to be spending money on things. So Venus in the second house, while Mercury rules it retrograding in the first, I feel like you're likely investing into your future. Maybe you are investing into a Canva account to make Instagram posts. Maybe you're investing into some classes. Maybe you're investing into skincare because you're thinking about that. Maybe you're investing into your health. So Venus in the second house will be, like I said, is the time to rethink money and values and spend or kind of streamline finances so that you can take time to do you. If you are a Gemini rising, Venus enters your first house. Of course, super exciting. Venus in the first house. Love Venus in the first house. Lots of charm, lots of visibility, power to attract, beauty, magnetism that comes your way. But starting April 21st, Venus will be ruled by Mercury retrograde in your 12th house. And Mercury retrograde in the 12th feels like you are examining your self-defeating tendencies. You maybe are rethinking your mental health, doing some like behind the scenes spiritual work where you are cleansing, purging, addressing bad habits. And as a result, you show up in a different way, right? Like as a result of that inner work that not everybody sees, Venus in the first house can maybe make some positive changes to your look, changes to your style, changes to how you present yourself, and even the things that you say, right? Like maybe the work that you're doing behind the scenes is encouraging you to communicate more honestly or communicate more directly. And of course, Venus in the first is a lovely time for any beauty procedures, any kind of, taking care of yourself, investing into your look. If you are a Cancer rising, Venus enters your 12th house and she will be ruled by Mercury starting April 21st retrograde in your 11th house. So Mercury in the 11th wants to rethink friendships, wants to rethink people you belong with, your hopes and dreams. And Venus in the 12th gives you a chance to step away from the busyness of the world and perhaps find some joy in solitude as you rethink those things, right? Like maybe you are on the precipice of some kind of important personal change where you're starting a new career or you're embracing a different role in life. And right now with Venus in the 12th house, there is a chance to go within and find joy in solitude and reconnect with yourself before you show the world a different version of yourself. It could be a time where maybe you're dating a friend, or maybe you're clarifying some of the challenges in your relationship with a friend. Relationships can be more private and hidden, and sometimes a bit more shadowy, where you're dating a person who's not so good for you. So be mindful of going for people that give you a sense of drama but are not really good for you. And take kind of this opportunity as a chance to reconsider your romantic choices and maybe make some improvements. If you are a Leo rising, Venus enters your 11th house. She will be ruled by Mercury in the 10th. Mercury goes retrograde between April 21st and May 14th. So starting April 21st until May 7th, Venus will be ruled by Mercury retrograde. So here I feel like you are rethinking professional matters. And as a result, with Venus in the 11th, you're connecting with people who can help you. You are networking, you're putting yourself out there, you're getting opportunities to meet people who can be helpful. You get opportunities to start group projects, start collaborations, but a lot of it is professionally oriented, right? Like with Mercury in the 10th, it's very much like, is it beneficial for me? Is this relationship helpful to who I am? So you may be forming new connections, you may be joining new groups, you may be networking more, socializing more, and it's actually a very lovely time to spend time with other people and explore your interests and connect with people who reflect those interests, and even verbally express what you like or where you see yourself. You never know who might be listening. If you are a Virgo rising, Venus enters your 10th house and she'll be ruled by Mercury in the 9th. So here, Mercury in the 9th, Mercury goes retrograde between April 21st and May 14th. So starting April 21st, your Venus will be ruled by Mercury retrograde. So Mercury in the 9th house is rethinking what you believe in. It may be taking a close look at your education and your knowledge, at your writing skills, or at some kind of legal matters. And all of those things that you're rethinking and improvements that you might be making are likely professionally oriented. So Venus in the 10th house would want to pursue new projects, to do work that is creative and joyful and inspiring. So as Mercury is retrograding in the 9th, perhaps you're wondering what you need to study, what you want to teach, what kind of things get you going, like 9th house representing beliefs and philosophies. How can you share your knowledge? Maybe you start to talk about things that are important to you if you are an influencer, for example. But even if you're not, let's say you're a teacher and you are learning new things and you're changing your curriculum accordingly so that it's more joyful to you, but it's also more reflective of your beliefs and ideals. Can be definitely for Virgo risings like a lovely period professionally, a good time to brainstorm new ideas, present your work, do creative, joyful kind of work, connect with women, even do some kind of like beauty, art, fashion influencing. For my lovely Libra risings, Venus is going towards your 9th house and it will be ruled by Mercury in the 8th. And Mercury goes retrograde starting April 21st. So Venus will be ruled by Mercury retrograde. So here you are rethinking money, debts, taxes, contracts, agreements you have with others, whether they're spoken or unspoken, kind of, understandings you have with other people, and perhaps needing to make adjustments and needing to take some kind of legal action to study, to rethink your beliefs. For example, you signed a contract with someone and you're trying to get out of it, so you reach out to a lawyer, or you sign a contract and you're in partnerships, but you realize that you need to study or create a plan for the classes that you'll be teaching. For example, I'm hosting this retreat in Costa Rica, and I'll be teaching workshops. If you want to join us, definitely join us. I'll be teaching workshops, and I need to come up with, I know the themes of the workshops, but I need to kind of do the planning and do the curriculum. So doing work that involves kind of foreign travel, education, legal matters will be more fun right now. So if you need to take some kind of action, publish your work, present your ideas, this is a really good time. As well as like learning about things that are maybe connected to money, or things that are connected to transforming your pain, your body, your past difficulties, I can also see here. If you are a Scorpio rising, Venus is about to enter your 8th house, and she will be ruled by Mercury in the 7th. So here you are, Mercury goes retrograde starting April 21st. So from April 21st until May 7th, Venus will be ruled by Mercury retrograde. So here you may be looking at your relationships, right? Like if you started a new relationship or you started a new chapter in your relationship, one of my Scorpio rising clients is getting married. So, there's like a new chapter in her relationship. And as Mercury goes retrograde, there might be certain things you need to discuss, right? There might be certain kind of agreements you need to make. Maybe you're signing contracts. Maybe you are starting a business. Maybe you're working with clients. And with Venus in the 8th, it looks like this is a really good time for you to figure out financial matters, right? Like if you're starting a business partnership, figure out your agreement, draft a contract. If you're getting married or you are moving in with your partner or something is changing in your romantic relationship, figure out how you're going to be paying for things. Figure out your joint bank account, open a joint bank account. Your partner's finances can be improving. Maybe they're doing better. Maybe they're going through a period of improvement as well. And so as Mercury's retrograding in the 7th, you're just kind of looking to tweak some of your relationships and some of the finances and agreements you have in them. If you are a Sagittarius rising, Venus is about to go in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships, and she will be ruled by Mercury in the 6th house. So Mercury will go retrograde starting April 21st and until May 7th. And here you are rethinking your everyday life. You are rethinking the topics of service, the topics of problem solving. If you are in a relationship, right? Like maybe you are looking at how to better streamline taking care of your child, for example. Or you're definitely with Mercury retrograde, you're kind of on a mission. You have a task, you have some kind of, maybe you're improving your health, maybe you're definitely, there's some hurdles that you're managing, some weights you're lifting. And as Venus enters your 7th house, I think it blesses your relationships. It says that you don't have to handle it by yourself. You can ask for help. You can find better connections. I wish the sound from the outside was more supportive of what I'm saying, but when you live in New York, you do not choose the sounds. The sounds just find you and bang over your head with you. Over your head. Yeah. Oh, and it's gone now. But yeah, I think Venus in the 7th is really great for dating, for romance, for partnerships, for, taking action and coming on a travel retreat with Anastasia. Sorry, I'm just really excited about this retreat, so I can't stop talking about it. But maybe you are being very thoughtful and very mindful with Mercury in the 6th house. You're kind of aware of all the thing that goes into dating and into partnering up. And so you're entering those topics and entering those new experiences and partnerships with a sense of awareness and the sense of knowledge and wisdom. So have fun, go on dates. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. If you are a Capricorn rising, Venus enters your 6th house and she will be ruled by Mercury in the 5th. And Mercury goes retrograde from April 21st. So until May 7th, Venus will be retrograde, will be ruled by Mercury retrograde. So Mercury in the fifth is looking at the topics of romance, creativity, children, joy. And Mercury is asking, is there enough joy? Are you happy with your romantic life? Are you happy with your relationship with your child? Is everything okay in the life of your child? Are you trying to get pregnant, right? Like there might be kind of a lot of focus on rethinking, inspiration, romance, children. And as Venus is traveling through your sixth house, she will want to make improvements to your everyday life, right? So if it's a joy you seek, Venus in the sixth will be like, okay, let's listen to some music while we're doing our errands, while we're running errands. If it's a pregnancy you desire, Venus in the sixth house, I feel like I'm like Aladdin cave. A pregnancy you desire, walk over here. Don't touch that lamp. But yeah, like if you're trying to get pregnant, Venus in the sixth house will be like, okay, let's do some procedures, let's get a massage, let's relax, let's unwind, let's take care of ourselves, right? So Venus in the sixth house will definitely try to address practical concerns, and it will likely make it easier to address practical concerns. Watch out that you're not kind of leaning too heavily into eating sugary foods, because Venus can be just like, okay, have some cake and it's gonna be great, don't worry about it. But yeah, look for ways to clean up your life, to open space, to streamline your routines and schedule, and have some fun. Even if your life feels overwhelming and busy and there's all these duties you're handling, try to find small things you can do right now that will make you feel happier. If you are an Aqua rising, Venus is entering your fifth house. She'll be ruled by Mercury in the fourth. And Mercury will be retrograde between April 21st and May 14th. So until May 7th, Venus is ruled by Mercury retrograde. And Mercury in the fourth means that you are rethinking home, you are rethinking family matters, looking at what makes you comfortable, what makes you feel secure, what makes you feel safe. And as a result of that inner transformation, or the transformation in your living situation, there will also be changes to your romantic relationship, your child's life, or your creative pursuits. And romantically, let's say you're moving, or you're let's say you're moving. Of course, your romantic life might change, right? Whether you are in a relationship or whether you are looking to date. Your child's life might change as well if your dynamic with family or your living situation is changing. Venus rejoices in the fifth house, so it's a rather lovely placement to have. And Venus in the fifth house can be beautiful for dating, beautiful for inspiration and putting yourself out there. And just feeling like life was more fun, right? Like maybe fifth house deals with children. Maybe you're feeling more aligned with your inner child, and Mercury retrograde, the look you're taking at your past, the look you're taking at your childhood is helpful in getting kind of happier within yourself. Yeah, could be fun. If you are a Pisces rising, Venus is entering your fourth house, and she'll be ruled by Mercury in your third. And between April 21st and May 7th, Venus will be ruled by Mercury retrograde. So that will, of course, challenge things and make things a little bit different. So with Mercury in the third house, you are rethinking your everyday life and your schedule, your writing, your skills, your voice, things you have to say, things you have to offer to the world. And with Venus in the fourth, you may be kind of getting more comfortable with who you are and more secure within yourself, right? You may also be opening up space in your home, changing your home to fit your new interests. Like my boyfriend is a Pisces rising, and he hurt his knee recently. So kind of basically, he hurt his knee, and now he's trying to figure out how to make his apartment more friendly to, to his situation, and kind of like after surgery. So very literal, right? Like Venus in the fourth house will make you adjust your home, adjust your living situation to be more pleasurable. And because Mercury is retrograding in the third, the changes that you're making can be connected to your mobility. You know, of course, there's going to be less people with knee injuries than people who are maybe trying to open up some space for yoga like studio, right? Or like yoga room, maybe meditation space. Maybe you're trying to start writing and you're needing to have an office space. There may be some kind of changes in your living situation and in your family dynamic connected to your siblings. Maybe your sibling is coming to live with you. But yeah, it's overall is a lovely time. There's more happiness in your familial relationships, more connection, and joy. And it's a great time to add beauty into your surroundings and to reconnect with family members. So this is all I have. Like I said, check out another Venus and Gemini video from last year if you want more. And I'll talk to you very soon. Enjoy this transit. Bye.